Hello gamers, Yoshi here, and in today's video I will be talking about methods of exotic armor and weapon acquisition. This video will cover the perspectives of both free-to-play and pay players with their options for acquisition. As a free-to-play or pay player, there are currently no great ways to farm exotic weapons. Your best options would be to hit up Xur, grind the season pass, or complete weekly challenges. Xur is an NPC that only shows up during weekends from Friday reset to Tuesday reset. He can be found in the hangar of the tower, in the EDZ, in a cave in the Winding Cove, and on Nessus in his tree in Watcher's Grave. Xur sells multiple exotics in exchange for legendary shards. He sells an exotic engram that rewards a random exotic for 97 shards, one exotic weapon for 29 shards, and he sells 3 class-specific armor pieces, one for every class for 23 shards each. In total, he carries potentially 5 new exotics for you to acquire every weekend, guaranteed you have the legendary shards to pay for them. That's potentially 2 new exotic weapons every weekend. His exotic engram will prefer to give you new exotic weapons before giving you new exotic armor pieces. This means if you have every weapon, you will only get new armor pieces till you have all exotic armor, excluding unobtainable armor from DLC if you are a free-to-play player, and this will also exclude Beyond Light and Year 4 seasonal exotic armor if you are a paid player. Make sure you talk to Xur on the character you want armor for because his exotic engram will only target your character's class's armor. So talking to Xur as a warlock will only give you warlock exotic armor from the engram. This is important because you can only purchase one exotic engram per weekend per account from Xur unless you use an exotic cipher. Exotic ciphers can be obtained from the season pass and from Xur himself. Complete the required cipher quest and return to him for another exotic cipher, which you can then use to purchase additional exotic engrams or use at the exotic kiosk in the tower. You are limited to obtaining one exotic cipher from Xur per week per account, so use them wisely. Remember, if you are a free-to-play player, you will not be able to purchase, access, or use DLC armor or weapons. Xur's exotic engram will also not give you any weapons tied to exotic quests or exotics in the exotic kiosk found in the tower. The season pass in this game is another viable option for obtaining some exotics. As a free-to-play player, you will only have access to the seasonal exotic, one exotic engram, and one exotic cipher from the free track of the pass. However, purchasing the pass grants you more opportunities to obtain exotics from the various exotic engrams littered throughout. The season pass is an amazing deal compared to other games. It is a great way to access exclusive perks, activities, weapons, ornaments, more exotic engrams, and seasonal challenges for large amounts of XP used for leveling, which in turn allow you to compete in certain activities for even more chances at exotic drops down the line. The last option in obtaining exotic weapons as well as armor is to complete weekly challenges. These weekly challenges are denoted by the gold star icons, usually tied to certain vendors or playlist activities. These weekly challenges can sometimes reward you exotics, either weapons or armor. If you have all obtainable exotic weapons, depending on, of course, if you are free to play or what DLC you have as a paid player, it will always grant you exotic armor pieces if you meet this condition. There have been numerous times where I myself, and I have all the exotic weapons and armor pieces, so I can attest to this, is that when I've completed play 3 Crucible matches or get 100,000 points in an Ordeal, I've gotten exotic armor drops from these challenge completions. So it is worthwhile to do them, and not only are you having these opportunities to get exotic armor pieces, you also are leveling up your character by getting powerful drops and getting pinnacle drops. So it is worth it to do these weekly challenges. I know some of them are kind of grindy and kind of boring, but if you're looking to get more exotic weapons and armor pieces, then definitely do these challenges. As a free-to-play or pay player, there are many ways to acquire exotic armor pieces. Your best options are using Xur, using the Season Pass, completing weekly challenges, farming Legend or Master Lost sectors, or farming Nightfall the Ordeals. Since I've covered most of the former, I will be talking about Lost sectors and Ordeals in this section of the video. Currently, Legend or Master Lost sectors can be found on the Moon, in the Cosmodrome, and on Europa. In order to access these Lost Sector variants, you must first complete the Lost Sector on its patrol difficulty before you gain access to the Legend or Master variant. You can access these variants after completion by visiting the entrance of the Lost Sector and interacting with the variant flagpole. These Lost Sector variants are on rotation every day, meaning that only one Legend and one Master variant Lost Sector will be available each day. This also means that only certain types of exotic armors can be farmed each day. However, because of this, Legend and Master Lost sectors are incredibly reliable in acquiring new exotic armor pieces because of how this targeting system works. It also makes it very easy for you to target farm for certain exotic armor rerolls. You are not guaranteed to get an exotic armor upon completion. It may take several runs before you receive any exotic armor at all, but don't worry as these lost sectors are very trivial, especially when you are at matching power level and have mastered the best route of completion. Make sure you kill all the champions found within the lost sector variant to achieve platinum rewards. This increases your chances at getting an exotic to be awarded on the completion of the lost sector. The last option, and depending on the difficulty you choose, can be the hardest, is completing a Nightfall of the Ordeal. Ordeals have 5 difficulties: Adept, Hero, Legend, Master, and Grandmaster. As you may have guessed, the harder the difficulty, the better the rewards, and the better chance you have at getting exotic rewards. Unfortunately, you are unable to receive exotic weapons as rewards from the Ordeals themselves, but the Ordeals drop exotic armor pieces like popcorn. Adept and Hero are match-made activities and have potential to allow users to cash out on exotics from completions, but very rarely will this ever happen. Your best bet in acquiring exotic armor from completions would be to complete the non-match-made activities of Legend or Master Ordeals. You can LFG for additional allies using Bungie's Destiny app or using the Discord PC LFG. Unlike the other ordeals, Grandmaster ordeals can only be accessed if you and your allies have met the required power level needed to launch the activity. This power threshold requires you to be at least plus 25 power to whatever the powerful cap is for the season. This can be achieved through a combination of pinnacle gear drops and additional artifact power. With competent teams, certain Grandmaster ordeals are very farmable, but for the average player, this isn't always the case. Grandmaster ordeals are very punishing. You are constantly underleveled thanks to a contest mode, auto respawning is disabled, and your revives are limited based on how many champions you kill. Unless you are already heavily invested into the game, you probably aren't going to be running Grandmaster ordeals. Don't worry, because one step down, you have Master ordeals, which are relatively easy once you get the hang of them. They can be just as rewarding as running Grandmasters, especially during double Nightfall rewards weeks and weekends. Ordeals also drop masterworking materials such as enhancement prisms and ascendant charts. Ascendant charts are incredibly useful for new players as they allow you to purchase exotics from the exotic kiosk in the tower and further masterwork your armor. Of course, playing the game and killing enemies has the potential to drop exotics for you off their dead bodies as well, but these are some of the best routes and methods in obtaining more exotic weapons and armor pieces. I hope this guide has helped anyone who's watched it. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.